Okay, this is ECE assignment 7. So for this assignment, we had to modify this random number generator and then fill an array that holds 50 integers that are generated from this random number generator. So here I've got the first question. Oh, I do not want to do that. Okay, so first we have these three functions that we have to include, which is the input-output functions, the standard library, and then the time function. Then we have like our usual starting point, and then this, I have like a kind of an organization of the different variables that are used. So I start off with the lower and upper limits for making or for getting a random number. So we start off with that, and then the second one we have the two variables random number and I. And then in this third one we define the array, which is going to be the size 50. And then in this part it's used like the current time for the random number generator. And then we go into a for loop to fill the array, so it loops through 50 times and generates a number for each number of the array, basically. So say we're in like the third, it's array 5, or I guess for this one it would be an array 2 in here, and then it would put a random number into 2 for like the third iteration of this. And then after it's gone through that 50 times to fill a spot 0 through 49, then we go to print what basically telling the user what we're displaying, and then we're looping through each one of the array spots to display the array. So we want to run that and then see it just displays all of these numbers, which go from index 0 to index 49. And that's it for the first one. And then we have the second part, which is a little bit more complicated than the first one. So for this problem, we had to find the second largest number in the array and then find the index number of that as well. So, it starts off the same. We just use different lower and upper limits for the number generator. And then I had a couple more variables, so of course I just defined those in here. And then we did, since the array size for this one is just 30, we did array of 30 here. And then this is the same as before, basically like this part through here. That's the exact same as the problem before, we're just modifying the number so there's only 30 spots in the array. And then, let's see, after this part, this is kind of like the endpoint of that. And then we go down to this, which is where we figure out how to do like the second highest number in the array. So for this we did, we first, of course, since at this point, going through the array, the max will be the first one, basically, is kind of like what we're saying here, because we haven't looked at any of the other values, so no matter what, that first one will be the highest. So we start with that, and then we also define the index to be 0 here. So we're doing a loop to go through every single number in this array, and then we're saying here that if the array number that we just got from this, like, we're basically like the number from before, like when we generated the random numbers, if that's bigger than the max, which is at this point the first one, then we are defining the second biggest number to be the max, and then we're the second biggest index to be the index, and then we're redefining the max to be this new number, and then the index to be this new number. And the reason we do this all in this order is because basically, if we want to go through, like if we didn't have these two lines here, it would just generate the maximum value, and we want to before that have like the previous max, because then like yes, we will go through and like we'll find the new max value, but then we'll have these variables defined as the previous max, which will end up after going through the entire loop being the second highest numbers. So that's why we put it kind of in that order, and then it allows us to then right here with this big printf statement, we have the largest value in the array is the number stored in second right here, found an index number, and then we take this variable from here and put it into there, the number value, and then we run it. So it'll say the second largest value in the array is 94, found in index number 5. So if we look through here, just kind of like scanning through, we see 94 right there, and then it looks like 97 is the only number bigger than it, so that's great. That means that we found the second largest number. And then in index number 5, so the way that I did it, it starts at number 0, so we have 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that all checks out. It looks like that all worked. And if you, I've done through it a couple times, but basically every time it's the same thing. You just find to check it, like to find the maximum value, see it to make sure that this is the second biggest, and then show what the index is of that number.